This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening to one and all present here for the today's. So, in the today's session, we will to discuss the non-accounting vouchers. So far we have discussed memorandum voucher, and we have also discussed the optional sales voucher as the two non-accounting vouchers. Now we are going to discuss the third non-accounting voucher, that is reversing voucher. Okay, so let's begin our today's session. Yes. So the previous class we had discussed about the memorandum voucher, for what purpose it is used for, what is the impact of the same, yes, and when to use the memorandum voucher, how do we record the entries by using a memorandum voucher. And after that, we had discussed about the optional sales voucher. Yes, yes. So we had discussed about the optional sales vouchers, where we can mark any existing sales voucher as optional. So these optional sales vouchers are mainly used for marking an entry for any estimations, for any quotations. It is called as a pro forma invoice, an estimated invoice, which is usually given to a client. An estimation is given once he is comfortable, once he accepts the terms and conditions of the delivery of the goods, once he's okay with the value, the quality, and the complete elements, for a sales transactions. So when he accepts the quotation or estimation, and he comes back, okay, for the transaction, that time the same optional sales. Optional means what? May or may not happen. In sense, it can regularize into a sales transaction, or it may not regularize into a sales transaction. In case if it regularizes, the same optional sales voucher is converted into a sales voucher. Otherwise, it is left unattended. In the sense, even though we leave it unattended, it does not affect my company's books of accounts. Yes, as I've told, they are provisional entries. They will not affect the company's financial statements or books of accounts. Now, the third one we have is reversing journal voucher. Now, reversing journal vouchers, they are the special journals that are automatically reversed after a specified date. These can be converted into regular vouchers by pressing F7 from the reversing journal voucher alteration screen. Reversing journals can be used for accounting for provisions. So, this voucher is actually used, but the usage is still rarity. But this also forms part of the non-accounting vouchers. Now, I say reversing journal vouchers are special journals that are automatically reversed after a specified date. And how they are reversed? But in the voucher alteration screen, that is reversing journal voucher alteration screen, if the user presses F7. So what is a voucher? For function key of F7, it's nothing but journal voucher. So once he uses journal voucher, the reversing journal voucher becomes a usual um, or regular journal voucher. And main, most important is for what purpose is this reversing journal voucher used? The reversing journal voucher is used mainly for accounting for provisional entry. So what kind of provisional entries? Okay, let's check out. Let's see an example for usage of reversing journal vouchers. Yes. Now we have a small example for reversing journal vouchers. We have a practical exercise. Now on 31st of August, what I've given here, company has incurred expenses of 18,000 as advertising expenses, but it is payable in the next month because it is not yet received from the supplier. And who's the supplier of these advertisement services? It is MTR Traders. On 1st September, since payment is made to MTR Traders on 1st September, the entry whatever has been passed earlier for the advertisement expenses. For that, a reversal entry is required to be passed. Now, how do we understand entry? See, the company here has incurred expenses of advertisement. Now, company has received advertising services or advertisement services from MTR Traders. So, MTR Traders is the provider of advertisement services for our company. Let's assume MTR Traders as the advertisement agency, which is providing the advertising services to our company. Now, the total amount payable to the MTR Traders is 18,000 for the advertisement services provided by it. Now, what happens is in this situation, services are being provided by the MTR Traders, no doubt about it. But the bill is not yet received from MTR Traders for the advertising services provided by it because of some reason, some ground reason. Okay, perhaps suddenly he's like he had to provide the invoice because of certain reasons he was not available. Okay, then or probably he might not be uh, in the position to give me the bill, or he might be busy in some other contract. So, like that. So, as of now, once the services are being provided, the bill is not yet generated by MTR traders, and the same is not yet received by a company. Now, 18,000 is payable to MTR traders. Yes, it is yet to be paid. Payment is still pending. Now, what happens is the company is very much sure that 18,000 is supposed to be paid to MTR traders. One or the other day, the payment has to be done. Yes, 18,000. But here the situation is bill has not been received from MTR traders. Now, without the invoice, without the bill generated, will anyone make a payment? Not, not possible. Yes, even if we have to make any payment, let it be 100 rupees, 1,000 rupees, or even 2,000 rupees, whatever the denomination is, without the evidence of a tax invoice or without the evidence of a bill, no person is ready to make payment for anything. It can be for a service, it can be for a product or for a commodity. Yes, so first we ask the bill. Can I have the bill, please? Okay, and then only the payment is done. Now here, since MTR Traders has not generated the bill in the name of our company, so henceforth payment is not yet made. Now what happens is payment is pending for MTR Traders on 31st of August.
Excuse
Now,
me, ma'am. Ma'am,
let me yes.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Could you please
Yeah.
record the meeting?
Huh? What is the issue?
Ma'am, the meeting has not been recorded.
The meeting has been recorded, no? You want me to repeat the illustration or uh, can you be much more audible so that I can hear you properly? Yes? Okay. Yes, the session is being recorded. There's nothing to worry about it. In case if my voice is not audible, let me know, or if my voice is breaking, let me know. Stop me in case if my voice is breaking. Okay. So, yes, so we will come to example. Now, the bill is yet to be received from MTR traders. So, what happens is my company makes a provisional entry, provisional we say, temporary entry, a provisional entry for 18,000 to be paid to MTR traders. Though it is paid on a future date, but still, as of now, in my company's books of accounts, I make a provisional entry that 18,000 is yet to be paid to MTR traders. Now, what happens is the very next day I've given here as 1st September, or you can consider after 2 days or after 3-4 days. Since payment is made to MTR traders, record the reversal entry for the provisions made. Now, I would have passed a provisional entry for the advertisement expenses payable to MTR traders. Once the payment is clear, once the payment is done to MTR traders, I don't require this provisional entry anymore. So what do? I pass a reversal entry for the provisional entry what is created by my company. Okay, so for this purpose, we use reversing journal voucher. In case we have to create any provisional entries, okay, and later on of course if it has to get reversed on account of payment or even on account of receipt, whatever the situation can be, that time, okay, the reversing journal vouchers can be used. So let's execute the same in the Tally software. Please log into your companies so that we can begin this reversing journal vouchers. Yes, so here I've given us steps to pass reversing journal voucher. So one by one we will execute it. Now we have three ledgers to be created for passing a reversing journal voucher. One we have is expenses incurred account. Second is provisions for expenses. Third we have is MTR traders. Now, if I talk about the first, I've just given as expenses incurred. If you want, you can give it as advertisement expenses, or advertisement expenses has already been created. If you watch out in the list of ledger accounts, advertisement expenses is already existing. So in case if the cost category is activated, probably you can deactivate the same and you can use the same ledger. Otherwise, you can create a new ledger as expenses incurred under the group of indirect expenses. Here, second, we have this provision for expenses. So as I've told you that we are making a provisional entry for the advertisement expenses to be payable to MTR traders. I'm repeating it again. we are passing a provisional entry for the advertisement expenses payable at a future date to MTR traders. Okay, so for that we need to create a ledger as provision for expenses. And the last one, to whom the payment is required to be made, it is MTR traders. So sundry creditors, henceforth we are creating a ledger in the name of MTR traders. So let's create these three ledgers and then we can start passing the reversing journal voucher. Okay, so let's begin. Create. So under ledger, we have, I will create as expenses incurred itself. Under the group of indirect expenses, cost center probably you can deactivate it. GST also, GST can give it as not applicable. Next, provision for expenses. Comes under the group of provisions. Cost center no. Next is MTR traders. Sundry creditor. Like this, we have created three ledgers. One expense ledger, second is provision for expense ledger, and third we have this MTR traders. Okay. So once we have created these three important ledgers, now we can start passing the entry. So I'll just show you again which are the ledgers which have to be created. One is expenses incurred, second is provision for expenses, third we have this is MTR traders. Yes. So this is a step 2 where we are going to record the journal voucher. Now as I've told you, we are creating a provision entry and passing the same. Now how to pass, in which way do we pass this reversing journal voucher? We debit the expenses incurred ledger for 18,000. That much we have incurred as advertisement expenses. And for the same, we are passing a provision entry. So expense actual expenses incurred is 18, for which a provision ledger is being created and passed. So again 18,000. So expenses incurred account 18 to provision for expenses account 18. This journal entry we are supposed to pass in the reversing journal voucher. Now after recording this reversing journal voucher, in the balance sheet if we check out, it is reflected as current liability, and in the profit and loss account is reflected as indirect expenses. So let's check out how it takes place. Now how to go to the reversing journal voucher. Let's press the escape key and come back to the gateway of Tally screen. Yes. So all of us are in the gateway of Tally screen. Now over here, let's select vouchers. Now what we have to do is most important. It will be displaying some voucher like payment, purchase voucher or contra. We have to press F10. F10 is other vouchers. Can you make out here in the vertical button bar on the right hand side of my screen? I'm able to see a functional key as F10 other vouchers. So click on F10 other vouchers. You get the list of vouchers appearing in the Tally software. Now what you have to do is show inactive. Select or press enter, show inactive. Yes. Okay. Can you observe here? After the received vouchers, we have reversing journal voucher. So all of you are able to view the reversing journal voucher in the list of voucher types. Yes. So now press enter on reversing journal voucher. Now Tally would ask you a question. Do you need to activate the reversing journal voucher type? Activate now. So give it as yes or press enter. Yes. So this is how the reversing journal voucher screen appears. Okay. So I hope all of you have got this reversing journal voucher screen. In case you have not got, let me know right now so that I can just repeat
Ma'am,
what
can
you
you
have.
repeat the
Want me to repeat it
ma'am?
again?
Can you repeat this from first, ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Are you in the gateway of Tally screen? Select voucher.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Then press F10. F10 is other vouchers. Now there, at the top under create, you have show inactive. Press enter on show inactive. Under receive vouchers, you can view reversing journal vouchers. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Press enter on that. Your reversing journal voucher will appear on the screen. Yes. So now we have to pass the entry. Now at the bottom, something has been given that is applicable up to. Can you watch out? Which means Tally is asking you that whatever provisional entry which would be passed in a reversing journal voucher, this entry would be applicable to which date, up to which date or up to which period. I need to know that. Got it? Now, if we take the same example, here in the example I've given as 31st of August and 1st September, that 31st of August, I have incurred advertisement expenses, and by 1st of September, I make a payment. Just given 1 day gap. Now, in case there are 3 to 4 days gap, or even a month's gap, or 6 months gap, whatever it is, if you see at the bottom in the tally screen, you can observe that applicable up to, which means whatever the provision entry which we are going to pass, is it applicable up to what time? After, let's say, I would have cleared the payment of MTR traders by, let's say, by 1st of October. So what we have to give there as applicable up to as 1st of October at the bottom. Okay. So that up to 1st of October, it remains a provisional entry. Payment has not yet been completed for MTR traders. So up to 1st of October, it stands as a provisional entry. After 1st of October, once we change the date and convert the reversing journal voucher, moment the date conversion happens, immediately that applicable up to a feature or a field what is there, it will vanish immediately, disappear immediately. Why? Because you have converted the reversing journal into a journal voucher and you have brought the entry into the books of accounts, and from then on it goes for the other set of vouchers. So which means conversion of a reversing journal into a journal voucher. So up to 1st of October it freezes in reversing journal. Once it crosses 1st of October, it gets automatically converted, or we have to convert from reversing journal into a journal voucher. Now, as of now, as I told, that dates can be changed since we're using a trial version or the education version of Tally software. So henceforth, it will stand as applicable up to April. Okay, so what we can give as here, the entry expenses incurred account, debtor to provision for expenses incurred account. So that is the entry we have passed here. Yes? So the same entry we have to reflect it in the Tally software. Expenses incurred to provision for expenses. 18,000. Type amount as 18,000. Press enter. Provision for expenses. You can also make like this. Probably now in the date it is showing us 1st of April. The reversing journal voucher date applicable up to 1st of April. So what can be done is date let it remain the same 1st of April. In applicable to we can change it as 30th April. There are two choices 30th April, or in case if it is not taking 30th April you can change it as 2nd of April. 2nd of April Tally will accept even though if it is a trial version. So entry I would have passed on 1st of April, and this entry is applicable up to 2nd because 2nd April I would clear the payment to MTR traders. Since here date cannot be changed beyond a certain extent. Okay. So I will repeat it again. The voucher entry date I've given as 1st April. Please you all do the same, and applicable up to I've given as 2nd of April, which means up to 1 day I'm having time to clear off this entry. Now what has to be given? Being a provisional entry, please be very careful with the narration. Being a provisional entry passed for the or being a provisional entry made or passed for the advertisement expense payable to MTR traders. So being a provisional entry made or being a provisional entry passed for the advertisement expenses payable to MTR traders. Got it? So once you type the narration, you can pass the entry. Once you type the narration, pass the entry. Now, once the reversing journal voucher has been passed, let's go back to the gateway of Tally, or we can also go to Alt G, because I've given you something. After recording the reversing journal voucher, in the balance sheet it will be reflected as a current liability, and in the profit and loss account it will be reflected as indirect expenses. So let's go and check that. Press Alt G. Over here you have the balance sheet as the first common report. Now if you go to the current liabilities, and there if you press enter, under sundry creditors, one minute, yes. Yeah, so here we can view uh, on the liability side, if you observe. Again, if we go to Alt G, and if we go to the profit and loss account, yes, so we can view indirect expenses. Okay. Now, what happens is we have passed a reversing journal voucher and we have also seen in the financial statements. Now, payment is cleared now to MTR traders, or payment is clarified that when it has to be made. Okay, the date is clarified that on this particular date I have to make the payment. Now, given as applicable up to 2nd of April, which means what? Probably on 2nd of April, the payment is to be cleared. Now, what we have to do is we have to go to the vouchers, or we can also go to the day book. If you go to the day book and press F4, voucher types, we get the reversing journal voucher. Yes. So here we get the list of reversing journal voucher. There is one more way of watching, as I have told you, that we can also go to the display more reports, but here we have the exception report. So here also you can view. Okay. Now here exactly you may not view, but because many a times as part of the daybook it may appear, otherwise it may also find a place in reversing journal. In case if it's finding a place in reversing journal voucher, you can press entry and you can view the voucher. Okay. So in both the ways it is available. If not, you can view alone from the daybook. Now in the reversing journal register we have seen. Okay, in the list of all reversing journal vouchers, you have expenses incurred, 1,000. So press enter on the same. The reversing journal voucher screen gets reopened again. Now what has to be done is this reversing journal voucher should be converted into a journal voucher, because now all is clarified. The bill is received from MTR traders and it has to be paid. But here there is one point. At the bottom, I've given there as applicable up to 2nd of April, which means what? It's a provisional entry being up to 2nd of April. 2nd of April, I'll come to know, like it has to be paid on the same date or paid on some other date. Okay. In the illustration, I'm given as 31st of August and 1st of September. Any date can be constituted. So date should not matter here. So here I've given as 31st of August and 1st of September. Since we cannot probably change the months, the dates here, stick on to the 1st and 2nd of April, we can take the same. This is for the entry understanding. I have given the dates here. So here, what you have to do is, you have to just press F7. Can you see here? Once you press F7, what happens? The reversing journal voucher will be automatically converted into a usual or a regular journal voucher. I hope all of you can make out this. See, once I pressed F7, what happened? 1 minute. So what happens if we observe in the screen that applicable up to period is gone once we convert from reversing journal to a journal voucher. And now what we have to do is changing the date as 2nd of April. We have to pass a reversing entry. Now what we have passed as expenses incurred to provision for expenses. Now we have to pass a reversal entry, which I have given in the slide here. So that time we had given expenses incurred account to provision for expenses. Now provision for expenses incurred, provision for expenses account debtor to expenses incurred. Okay. So once we pass the reversal entry, the reports get nullified. So what we have to do is provision for expenses 18,000 and we have this expenses incurred. So here it appears as 36,000, but if you go back and check, it gets nullified. Okay. So here being reversal entry passed for the cancellation of the provision entry passed or provision entry created for the advertisement expenses payable to MTR traders. So like this, we can pass a reversal. So once we convert, can you see here in the list of all reversing journal voucher, it gets nullified. So once the reversing journal voucher gets converted into a regular journal voucher, what happens is in the list the voucher gets nullified. The voucher gets disappeared because it is converted into a accounting voucher. From a non-accounting, it gets converted into an accounting. So with this, we mark the end for non-accounting vouchers. So I'll just come back to the discussion of non-accounting. We had discussed three non-accounting vouchers. We have memorandum, we have optional sales voucher, and third we have this reversing journal voucher. So we have discussed all the three and hope it is clear for all of you. In case you have any doubts or any concept is not clear, let me know so that before proceeding with any other new concept, we can get the concepts which are in the confusion sorted out. So, meanwhile, I'll just continue the session. So, these non-accounting vouchers have no effect on the financial statements first, right? Now, after these non-accounting vouchers, before I discuss the creation of currencies in Tally, yes, it's a little bit new concept, a new learning in Tally that already we are having the Indian rupees, that is the INR. In addition to that, we can also additional currencies in Tally. Okay. Yes. So we can create currencies in Tally. So we can create currencies in Tally. Apart from the Indian rupee or the INR, what is already existing in Tally, we can also create the other currencies as well. But before creating any currencies in Tally, let us know what is the currency. It's a worth of a product. Yes, we measure any product or we measure any service in terms of value. Without the value, there is no proper payment for the product or for that particular service. If it has no value, it's less of a word. So by default, Tally creates base currency. This can be altered but cannot be deleted. So which is the base currency created by Tally software? It is nothing but INR, that is Indian rupees. And this is most important. Now, in case we have to create currencies in Tally, how can we do that? What is the coding system for the creation of currencies in Tally? It is ASCII. Okay, ASCII is for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So just like that, we can't create any dollars, we can't create any yen, euros, and all. There is a particular code which has to be generated, which has to be done for creation of currencies in Tally. And how is the coding system? It is ASCII code, that is American Standard Code for Information Interchange. This ASCII code is used to create the currencies in Tally, and I've given you the default currency is the Indian currency. This Indian currency is not to be created again. Okay. Now, what is the path for the creation of currencies in Tally? From the gateway of Tally, we go to Masters. Under Masters, we select the Create option, and then we select the currencies, and then we can go to Create New. Okay. So let's go back to the Tally screen. Press the Escape key and come back to the gateway of Tally. Yes, so here we have Masters. Under Masters, we have Create. Yes. So already we have created ledger groups. I think I've shown you how to view the 28 predefined groups, or I would repeat it again. So we have currencies here. Yes. So we have currencies here. Now at the top, if you can observe, there is a question being given there. Currency rupee exists by default for the company. Do you want to alter the currency or create a new currency? And Tally gives you an option to add any feature or to alter any feature for the existing currency, that is rupees. But Tally will not give you any right to delete at one shot the Indian currency, the INR, which has been created by the Tally software. Okay, so same rule applies. This can be altered but cannot be deleted. So if I go to the alter existing in case, okay, can you see here? Simple rupees, formal name INR, Indian rupees, number of decimal places we have 2. Okay, then word representing amount of a decimal we have paise. Yes. Now here, if I want to activate or if I have to want to change any feature or do any additions, can be done. But if I try to delete, now what is the key for deleting any ledger or any voucher? We usually press Alt D, right? D for delete. Now I'll just press Alt D. Can you observe? Okay. Tally is not giving me the permission to delete the currency which is being created by it. Even though I'm giving Alt, yes, it is standing still. Which means I have no right to delete the currencies, but I only have right to alter the currency, that is Indian currency, created by the Tally software. So how did I go for it? I went to the currencies and I selected alter existing. If I select alter existing, I can view the Indian currency which has already been created by the Tally software. So please, you can just go through the same how the Indian currency is existing. So now we will start creating currencies in Tally. Please make sure we are very well alert to create the currencies in Tally. So the first one we are going to create, so press escape and again select currency and we'll go to create new. Yes. Now the first one we are going to create. Let's create first euros. Now here I'll just give you the code, the ASCII code. Okay, and this is for euros I'm giving euro currency. Okay, so simultaneously you can just create the currencies along with me. It is alt plus 0128. Okay, so you have to press alt plus 0128. Now these two have to be clicked together. It cannot be pressed or clicked simultaneously. You have to do it together. Alt plus 0128. Okay. So before doing that, yes, we have the currency creation screen. So now it is alt 0128. Yes. Can you see here? We get the euro symbol here. So this is how we get this currency created. Hope all of you have got this euro currency. I'll repeat it again. It is alt 0128. And this sleeve, the euro currency will be created. Press enter. Now what is the formal name? It is euro. If the ISO currency code is available, you can give the same. Okay, or you can just give the symbol and the formal name of the currency created. Okay, we need not change the rest of the features. You can just enter.
Ma'am, can you repeat it?
You want me to repeat it? Currency, create new. Now here you have to press Alt and 0128 together, and then only you will get the euro currency. Alt and 0128 together. Okay, so if you press that, you get the euro currency. Alt key with 0128. Yes, are you able to get? You're able to get euros now as
Ma'am,
symbol.
I'm not getting it.
You have to press Alt in finger. You can press Alt in one finger and in the other finger 0128 together. Okay. Alt in one finger you can hold Alt key. In the other finger 0128 and then release Alt key. Now you're able to get the euro currency, euro symbol. So once you press 0128, you can just release it and then the euro currency symbol will be done. And then in the formal name, you can just type euro. Okay, so once you're done, accept. Yes. Next we go for is pounds. Now what is the ASCII code for pounds? I'll give it up here. You can just look up here. Please do mute yourself. For pounds, it is Alt and 156. This is the ASCII code. It is Alt and 156. Okay. So in one finger, probably in your thumb, you can use your thumb to press the Alt key. Along with the Alt, holding the Alt key, press 156 and then release the Alt key. The pound currency symbol will come on the tally screen. Okay. So let's do it. Press Alt key. Pressing the Alt key itself, type 156. Deepika T, I think you have to mute yourself. There is a disturbance in the session. I want Deepika T to mute. Yes, thanks. Thank you, Deepika. So all of you are able to get the pound currency? If no, please make sure you are able to get it. Formal name is pound. Need not change any other feature. You can just create the symbol, type the formal name and start. Then I will show you in the alteration screen how you can give the rest of the features. Yes. Now after pound, we have yen. Okay, so let's do for yen. After euros and pounds, we have for yen. So yen, for the yen, the ASCII code, I will just give up here. This is for yen, and the ASCII code for yen is Alt. It is Alt plus 157. So the same way, pressing the Alt key, type 157, okay, and release the Alt key. Then. So this we can accept to bounce. Yes, so Alt 157. Yes. Now we can get the yen symbol. So type yen as a formal name. Type yen as a formal name. And accept the screen. Okay, Control A or accept. Yes. Now after yen, we have for dollars. So now for dollars, what is the key? So let's find out what is the ASCII code for dollars. It is shift plus 4. The dollars is ASCII code is shift plus 4. Okay, so this is easier. Shift key and 4. 4 you have the dollar sign already existing, right? So yes, formal name dollar. Yes, control A. Now the last one we have Indian rupees. Very interesting. Now for this also I will give the ASCII code. You have to know this. For the INR, that is Indian rupees, what is the code? The ASCII code is control plus 4. So for the INR, what has been created by the Tally software, the code is control plus 4. Now you try to put up control plus 4 in the Tally. See what can happen. Just press control 4. Are you able to create Indian currency? Yes. Is it possible to create the Indian currency again in the Tally software? No,
No,
right?
ma'am.
We cannot create it. Why? Because Tally has already created the Indian currency, so Tally will not give you any right, you in the sense the user, to create any Indian currency again. Once it is created, it is done. As I told, I have only rights to alter the Indian currency which has already been created by the Tally software. I can neither recreate the Indian currency nor the rights to delete the Indian currency. I just have only one option to alter the Indian currency. Yes. So you can easily make out if you press Ctrl 4, Tally will not allow you to create the Indian currency. From this one you can easily make out. Yes. Now we press the escape key. Yeah. And come back to the gateway of Tally screen. I want you all to come back to the gateway of Tally screen. So this is how we create currencies in Tally. Now we created euro, pounds, yen, dollars, Indian rupees. Indian rupees we tried but we couldn't because Tally is already done with it. Now we'll go to the alter option. We'll select the alter option. We have the master alteration screen and we'll select the currencies again. Yes, can you see here? We have dollars, pounds, euros, yen, even the Indian rupee existing. Now if you select dollars, press enter on dollars. Yes, so this is the currency alteration screen. You can press any choose of dollars here. You can choose euros, yen or pounds. So can you see that simple and formal name which we have already created along with certain available, but at the bottom, most important, you have the standard rate. And besides that, you have rates of exchange, that is the selling rate and the buying rate. Now, all of you, I think, would be very well aware that the Reserve Bank of India, yes, is the, I can say, the bank which fixes the selling rate, the complete, I can say, the standard rate, That's the main thing. Then the selling rate and the buying rate for the currencies. Here, of course, dollars for pounds or whatever it is. Now we say like $1 is equivalent to this much of rupee. Yes, £1 is equivalent to this much of Indian rupees. So this is how being fixed. So whatever RBI fixes the standard rate, the buying and the selling rate, everything can be depicted here. And almost all of you would be aware that the rate will not remain the same, right? Rates keep on changing on a day-to-day basis. That's why even in the Tally software, if you observe, first column, date is being given, then rate is being given. Yes. If you observe, if you take the standard rate, selling rate, and the buying rate, first date, then specified rate. Again, if you go for the selling rate, all these are for the EXIM transactions, export imports. Okay, so we have the last voucher rate, we have specified rate. Even for buying, we have date first, last voucher rate, and specified rate. Got it? So like this, we can also update that on this particular date, what was the value of our Indian currency, like per dollar, per pound, per euros, like that. Got it? So I've shown you some of the ASCII codes for the creation of a few foreign currencies, and this is how we can go for it, right? So here, if you press Control I for more details, show more if you go. You can also, if you want to show amount in millions or suffix the amount column, and everything can be given. Any adjustments you have to do can be done by pressing Control I. On the vertical button, you have Control and more details. So you can go on for the same. If you want any other adjustments in the currency, as usual, you can press F12 configuration. There also the adjustments will be there. As of now, all configured features are activated for the currency creation. In case some of them you don't want it to appear, you can deactivate this. So like this, we can see the currencies. You can take anything. Now, if I take pounds, and you see for everything it is available. Now, one more interesting part is coming to the deletion of currencies. I have all rights to alter the currencies created, including the Indian currency also I can alter. But the question comes to delete. As I've told you already, I can neither create nor delete Indian currency. But let's make a try. Now I want to delete pound. So what is the function key for deleting a pound? It is Alt D. And you should make sure that you are in the currency alteration screen. So I'll press Alt D. Question is asked, do you want to delete the currency created? I press enter, accepting. Yes, it's done. I want to delete dollars. Press Alt D. Yes, like this. Now I will choose Indian currency, and if I press Alt D, no. Again, Tally says, in the beginning I showed you this. Again, I'm showing it to you again. Alt D, if I press, Tally will never let me to delete the currency. Can you observe? Not allow me to delete the Indian currency. This is the lesson what we learned when it comes to the currencies creation. So I want to delete the yen and the euros. You are most welcome because it's a user-defined currencies, so we can go for it. Yes, I have deleted all the currencies which are created by me. But again, if I try to go back and delete, I can not delete Indian currency. Correct? We also have your rates of exchange. Now it is not existing. Why? Because we want deleted the currencies created. In case you want the rate of exchange, once we create the currencies like dollars, pounds, euros, you can also go for the rate of exchange master under the accounting masters. So I hope it's clear for all of you. how to create the currencies in Tally, right? So long we have covered. Now, if you go to the accounting masters, we have covered groups, ledgers, cost category, cost centers, currencies, voucher types. Under inventory masters also, we have done with stock group, category, stock item, units, locations. And the statutory masters, we have GST classification. Then the details we have is this GST details, and then we have the PAN details of the company. Now, all this time we have created ledgers, we have created the ledgers under the respective groups. But how to view these groups? How to view these predefined groups which are existing in Tally? What is the best way to view? Best way to view, we have two ways. One we have is this chart of accounts, and second we have is this alter. So if you go to the alter, click on the groups, we have 28 predefined groups. Out of that, 15 are primary and 13 are subgroups. Okay, and as I told, there is one more way. We have chart of accounts. Again, if you go to groups, can you see here? We have got the complete list of groups, starting from branches or divisions until even suspense account. Now at the bottom, you can see all of you can make out the number over there. This is also very, very important for you all, that how many groups are created by the Tally software. How many are the default existing groups? Okay. Now we have 28 predefined groups which are existing in the Tally software. Out of 28 predefined groups, we have 15 primary groups and we have 30 subgroups. Now, how many ledgers existed by default? I think I told you before creating the ledgers in the Tally software. Would anyone remember how many ledgers existed by default before the user? That's we created the ledgers, and which were there. Yes? We had, huh? We have two predefined ledgers. One we have is this cash account, and second we have is this profit and loss account. Yes? We have two predefined ledgers. We have 28 predefined groups. And we have one default currency. So like this, we have to take the numbers off. And how many voucher types we have existing by default? Yes. And you see here, in addition to the bank payment voucher created by us, we have the attendance voucher, we have the contra voucher, credit note, debit note. Most of all we have done, except a few, which is not applicable as of now. But we have 25 voucher types. We have 24. One we have created. We have the bank payment voucher. So we have 24 predefined voucher types. Considering the bank payment voucher type, one is added. Otherwise, we have 24 predefined voucher types. So all these numbers play an important role in the software. How many groups we have, how many ledgers we have, how many predefined voucher types we have. All these things play an important role. Next is, if we come back to the cost categories. Cost categories, can you see? We have a huge list of cost categories which have been created by us. We have advertisement, Bangalore, we have bills, Karnataka, we have Maharashtra, but which is the default cost category? It is primary cost category. Okay, just a moment. Yes, so we have primary cost category as a default cost category. Now, if you go and check the cost centers, Can you view here? In the complete chart of accounts, we can see under the predefined cost categories or under the cost categories created by us, we have the cost centers, right? Now, under the cost category of advertisement, we have banners, hoardings, news, and pamphlets. Under Bangalore, we have under bills. Under Karnataka, Maharashtra, we have the respective cost centers. And by default, it is primary cost category. And the bottom, you can also observe the number. You have 6 cost categories and 17 cost centers. So Tally will also give you numbers as it is. Then coming to currencies, of course, we have one Indian currency. Now, how I'm able to make out all these things? I've come back to the gateway of Tally. I have selected chart of accounts and I press enter. In that, I can view the complete history. Right? So if I go to the stock groups also, whatever the stock groups have been created so far by me as a user, everything will appear here. Then we have the stock items. So can you observe under the respective stock groups, the stock items are being present. Yes, so under computers we have Dell, liquid fuel we have petrol, mobile phones we have Vivo, and then under notebooks, pens, precious metals, like that the list goes on. So we have under the respective stock groups we have the stock items. Again at the bottom we can view the how many stock groups are being created and under that how many stock items are existing. Same way with the stock categories. If you go and check out. Okay. Units. Yes. So again we have a classification and locations. So far how many godowns we have created or how many locations we have created. So like this, if you go on checking in the chart of accounts, we get the complete list. Right? Now here we learn a very interesting concept, a very light concept after passing these couple of vouchers, entries and all that. Now so far we have created n number of ledgers. Yes. If we go back to the chart of accounts, if we select ledgers, we have created almost 71 ledgers. Probably it would be more, but in my company's screen it is showing us 71 ledgers under 28 predefined groups. So these ledgers are already existing. And using these ledgers, we have passed the entries. Right? Now, we also have groups in Tally. As I've told, in addition to the groups already existing, that is how many are there? 28 predefined groups. We can also create group, that is a user can also create a group based on his business requirement. Now how we create the ledgers, in the same way also groups can be created. So just a small example how to create the groups. From the gateway of Tally, you can select the create option, select the groups. Now let's create a group of, probably we can take for suppliers. Yes. Now we have Big Bazaar, we have More, we have Reliance Fresh. Yes. We have n number of supermarkets, we have malls and all that. So if you take Big Bazaar, More or Reliance, now if you take these outlets, there is more than one outlet or there is more than one branch in Bangalore itself. Yes. We have couple of outlets in Bangalore only. Then you have Mysore, then you have Mandya like this. So within Karnataka, you have only so many outlets. Again, if you take India, imagine how many branches, how many outlets they have. Now, if I take only Bangalore, okay, there are n number of branches of these uh, supermarkets or these departmental stores. Now, we have n number of suppliers there, right? For rice we have, for spices we have, then for confectionaries we have. Yes, for all this, for the commodities, there are different suppliers. Now, how can we create groups based on this? We can do it. Now, suppose if we take, let's say we choose one, that is rice, okay, rice traders. What we can give as, we can create a group as rice traders, okay. Probably in the brackets you can give the name. Let's say I'm giving here as Big Bazaar. For Big Bazaar, let's say I'm working for Big Bazaar, taking care of the account. So how do I categorize these rice traders? Now I have, as I told, I have different outlets. So how do I go for the same? I can create a group as rice traders for Big Bazaar. Now they are my suppliers, right? Suppliers for the rice bags. So they'll be like sundry creditors. If you can observe here, Rice Traders Big Bazaar is the subgroup. If you remember, when we had created a new voucher type as a bank payment voucher, we had given payment voucher as the base voucher, as the parent voucher. If all of you remember in the last session. In the same way, if we are creating a subgroup or a user-defined group as Rice Traders for Big Bazaar, I will use or I will have to use a parent group as sundry creditors. And that is how we create groups also in Tally in addition to the ledgers. Okay. Now at the bottom we have groups behaves like a subledger. Then we have net debit or credit balances for reporting, used for calculation, method to allocate when used in purchase invoice. This depends upon the business requirement. If you would like to have any of these features, you can get it activated. If not, you can just ignore the same. Accept? Yes. Now, we have created a subgroup as Rice Traders Big Bazaar. Now, we can come back to the gateway of Tally screen and from here we can either alter option or we can go to the create option. So let's choose the alter option. Alter, I will again select groups. Can you observe here? In addition to the predefined 28 groups already existing in Tally, the group which is created by me, that is Rice Traders Big Bazaar, is also existing. In addition to the groups which are created by the Tally. If I press enter here, yes, so you can see your group existing. Now, either you can go for the ledger creation or you can also go for the group creation. So over here, if I go to group, create group, here can be done. Or one of the best ways, suppose I have to create rice traders. Let's say I'll create a ledger. Okay, I'll create one of the suppliers ledgers. Best is Annapurna Rice Traders. I'm creating a ledger as Annapurna Rice Traders. Now, I don't want it to be under the general group of sundry creditors. Specifically, since Annapurna Rice Traders are one of the rice traders for Big Bazaar, I can select the group as Rice Traders Big Bazaar. Can you make out here? Yes, so this is how we can give the user defined group classification also. Yes, I have created here as Annapurna Rice Traders as a suppliers ledger, a creditors ledger, and I will create it under the group of rice traders for Big Bazaar. The rest all remains the same, there is no change in that. Like this, we can create it up. Next, we can give it as Ganesh Rice Traders. Same, under rice traders, Big Bazaar. Now, in case if any rice bags have been purchased, let's say 25 kgs of rice or something like that. Suppose we have to pass a purchase voucher. Can we do so? Yes. We can go to the F9 purchase voucher, give the invoice number. Now, from whom we are purchasing? Annapurna Rice Traders. Yes, so all this is as usual. Purchase account. Because here for rice, we can give it as not applicable. It's not there. So you can create a stock item as rice. Like this. I'm just showing in brief. Under primarily, let it be. Category, you can just leave it. Units, of course, kgs we can take. So without units, purchase activity cannot take place. GST as of now, you can give it as not applicable. Like this. So easily taking the new predefined group. Can you see how we can pass the entry? Yes. So like this, we can pass the entry. Yes, is it completely evident? Now the group which is created by me, but me in the sense by the user, we can also pass a purchase voucher. So it's very, very important, I can say, learning in Tally software. Like this, we'll create additional groups in the upcoming session. So just give a small, introduction, like how to create subgroups in Tally. Got it? So like this, by using the user-defined groups, vouchers can also be passed. Not only necessary the tally, the predefined groups, whatever has been existing, you can also go for the same. Okay. Now if we go back and check, I have not passed the entry, but if we go back and check, go back to the and check the list of groups, or the best way is we can go to the chart of accounts and we can check the list of groups. Can you see at the bottom now? Instead of 28, 28 was the default number of groups existing in Tally. And now if you see, there are 29 groups. Why? Because one group is added by me, by the user. Okay. So here, yes. So in addition to the predefined groups, 28 groups existing in Tally, we also have additional group, that is rice traders, Big Bazaar. So Tally is showing that there are 29 predefined groups in Tally. Now, have any doubt? I hope the creation of groups. So in case you have any doubts, any questions to ask, you can ask me the questions regarding any concept in Tally. Please make sure so far whatever you have done, make sure you will repeat it again. If you have created another company, because only when you revise more than once, probably you get the concepts much clearer as is extremely important in Tally. Once doing, once working on it will give no benefits. So I hope it's very much clear. You can repeat whatever you have done so far in the classes. So I hope it is clear until here. Okay. So in the next session, we will carry on with such learning of new concepts. Until then, keep your practice consistent. So we'll wind up with today's session until creation of groups. So hope you had a good session. We'll meet up in the next session. Thank you.